Hi, good day everyone. It's Robert Diaz, student of alternative medicine. As some of you may already know, today I would like to share a small demonstration video on how to prepare herbal tinctures. As we go through different aspects of alternative medicine, we understand there's different botanicals, there's different herbs, for example, like this root I have right here, which we can put into solutes and we can basically get the beneficial compounds, the healing compounds out of these different herbs that will allow us to put our body in a state of better health. So as you can see here in my background, I've got all different kind of herbal tinctures. Some of these tinctures are made with flowers, some are made with roots, some are made with barks and different tree parts and materials in nature. But you ask yourself, what is a tincture? Well, the word tincture is nothing that should intimidate you, and we should understand that tinctures are different concentrations of those botanicals I just showed you, the different plant parts that have been extracted in some type of solute, usually glycerin, alcohol, vinegar could be used in case of replacement for alcohol, but typically we use grain alcohols to make our tinctures. It's very simple. Anybody can make a tincture. As a practicing home herbalist, this is something that I do for myself and my family, and we use it as an alternative to keep our body in a very high state of health and prevent us from having to deal with all types of illnesses and diseases. How and why? Well, how we can administer it orally. Typically, this is very good. We don't have to worry about swallowing something in a solid form like a pill. Tinctures, like I said, are very concentrated. If you look on some of these jars here, the date goes all the way back to 2019. So technically their shelf life is almost indefinite, if you will, when they're properly made. And that's the beautiful thing about making herbal tinctures. We use these to keep us, like I said, in a very, very, very high state of health. And this is something that has no side effect. Herbal medicine does not have any side effect on the human body. That's one of the beautiful things about tinctures. Today I'm going to show you pretty much how to make your own tinctures. Very simple. Okay, the method that I'm going to be demonstrating is what we call a folk method. It's very traditional. There's two types of methods that could be used. One is a non-traditional drip method. That's percolation. That's when you actually put the matter in top of a bottle with some type of filter and you add your solvent and it drips over a slow period of time. The other method is known as the folk method, which is what I'm going to demonstrate to you here. We're going to use that method, and it's very simple and effective. All you need is a few bit of materials, and that's what we're going to go ahead and do next. So the supplies should, of course, be the herbs, okay? And when you do this, you may want to do some research to figure out what herbs you need. But here I'm making a blend, or a formula, if you will, that's going to have astragalus root. Okay, so that's part of my supplies. I've also got some lemon balm leaf, and we've got some goji berries or dragon berries. And the goji berry is very, very sweet. The lemon balm is very, very cooling. And the astragalus root is very, very powerful and grounding and effective. So what I'm trying to do is create a formula that helps benefit and tonify the body. Additionally, from our herbs that we have, we're going to need a glass dropper bottle. We're going to need something to write on to put what we're actually making in the vessel. We're going to need a glass jar, a glass mason jar, which is what I'm going to use to put all our materials in. And we're going to need some type of solvent. In this case, I'm using 120% proof alcohol. Okay, so the first step in making the tincture is you want to go ahead and fill it. And when I do tinctures, I start with usually the roots at the very bottom. Okay, so just how you see, I'm filling a jar. I'm placing the bigger surface area material at the bottom, also because it's heavier, and when you put in the solvent, it'll be likely to float until it saturates, and we don't want that floating on top of the smaller, finer material. So I'm going to go ahead and continue the rest of these. Next, okay, and this is called layering. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put in our goji berries. Now, you're probably wondering, well, how much do you put in? And it's based on the volume of the jar. So because I'm using dry goji berries, astragalus root, and the dry lemon balm, I'm gonna put the dried leaf filled to about 3/4 full. Once everything is filled up, the dry root is about 1/3 full. And this is always going to vary depending upon what type of botanical that you're using. It's very important to understand that when we're using dry, we have a usually 1/3 to a 3/4 ratio, and when we're using fresh herbs, we're usually using 1/2 to 3/4 ratio, and that ratio is to the solvent. The last botanical I have to go in here is my lemon balm. It smells amazing, and this is the leaf. Okay, and we're about 3/4 full in this jar. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pour the solvent. This solvent, like I said, is a grain alcohol. It's 100% pure and organic, distilled from pure grain. It's about 70 to 72% pure alcohol. Now, when you pour this in here, you want to pour it so that you completely cover all your plant material. That's very, very, very important to understand. Okay? And the reason we want to cover all that plant material is because we don't want to have any air pockets. We don't want to have any air spaces. Having that air pocket and air space will introduce opportunity for bacteria. It can introduce opportunity for mold growth. So we don't want to have any of that because we're dealing with raw plants. Now, once we filled it, we've diluted it, we've got it covered up. Like I said, I'm using 120% proof grain. The last step is to go ahead and cap it off. And this is a standard mason jar with a dual lid is what I recommend. If you don't have these and you're using plastic lids, which some people may use, you can put parchment paper under the lid, and that's going to be ideal for securing your storage. Finally, before I put this away for storage, I'm going to go ahead and take a writing tool, in this case a Sharpie, and I'm going to put what I have in here. Okay. What it was diluted with, and that's the grain and today's date. And that's it. That's the first step to making the tincture, guys. So now, once you've done that, you will let that sit and basically cure in a cool, dark place, room temperature or below. You don't want this sitting in direct sunlight. And every day or every other day, you should take it and you should shake it up to make sure all the plant material is coated with the solute, and it's going to be constantly pulling out all those different constituents. After about 6 to 8 weeks, you're going to then come back and get this jar, just like you see here. You're going to take it and you're going to get your glass dropper bottle. You're going to get a funnel of some type, just like I have here. And this is a very small funnel. You're going to put the funnel in the bottle. You're going to take some cheesecloth and you're going to strain all of that out into the bottle. And that's the final step of the tincture. This video really doesn't cover that because it is a two-step process, making it and then extraction. But I hope this serves well for you guys and makes a lot of sense. And if any of you have any questions or concerns, feel free to look over my references. I will make this available for you guys in the report form. Have a great day.